All right. So from the top, we're going to talk about our UDO assignment for the week, or the weekend really at this point. We'll give you guys, if you need resources to work on the POGIL a little bit more, and if not, I have some cool stuff about whatchamacallit, about isotopes to show you. And then after that, we'll have a little bit of a talk about the test that's happening next week, because that thing is coming.
A test?
Yeah, a test. Oh, that's right. Your internet wasn't working so well on Tuesday or on Wednesday. Yeah, that bomb got dropped a couple days ago. Don't worry, it's not that tough.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
UDO for the week. It's Apex 2.3 all the way to 2.3.4. We're talking about elements at this point. And there's extra credit if you do this practice exercise here. That practice exercise is going to be great for the test. It is open note to do the test, so this is going to be great notes for you guys. As well as I'm giving you extra credit to try to incentivize you to get a little bit more studying done.
When do we turn it in?
When do you turn what in?
The extra credit.
Not until I have the test up. I want you to keep it, right? So you have it. I mean, I realize it's digital, but we want to keep that all together and give everybody plenty of chance to get it in. So that's not due until the test, which will be next week. Maybe Wednesday, because we don't have a lot of time on Wednesdays to be easy to come in, get the test out, and leave. Any questions about the UDO? We're all able to get onto Synergy, or not Synergy, Apex all right? Yeah, old hands at this now. If you have any issues, just drop me a line. I did have one student who transferred from a different teacher's class, and their work in Apex was still in the other teacher's class. So, you know, if there's ever a mistake, bring it up so we can figure out what it is. 9 times out of 10, I'm just inputting things into the wrong row because it's a lot of grades to input most days. But yeah, if it's something really weird and catastrophic, we want to solve it. Now, for the POGIL assignment, do you guys need more time to finish it up? And if you do, please drop a mention about it into the chat so I can put people into groups when it's appropriate. All right. We are going to have a rearrangement of the groups a bit, and I know that's frustrating, but we did have about 10 different classes get what we call collapsed. So they just squished all the students out. Tucson High has like 300 less students than we planned for. So when we collapsed 10 classes, it did move people around. So if your best friend is no longer in class with you, that's what happened. Or if you got moved, that is what happened to a lot of people over the past couple of days. And it'll just be a little hiccup getting the grades back together for you guys. All right, so I got 4 people who need more time. Is that it? Everybody else has already turned it in? All right. So what I want to bring, yeah, give me that mention if you need more time. It is, you want to get that into the chat so when I make the groups, I can put you into them. Don't just sit around waiting and expect me to read your mind, guys. Excellent, much better. Well, if you don't need more time, don't tell me, because we'll have something else to do. But you have a moment to still put that in so that I can access it. And what we want to talk about are some of these questions in the POGIL. Now, that's question 1 and 2. And how did question number 1 make you guys feel? Like when you saw that question, did you know where to go to get it? Or did you hesitate? Don't all speak up at once now.
I did get it. I did get it. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah. Where did you get, like, but when you first saw the question, did you just do it or did you have a moment where you had to figure it out?
I had a moment. I had to look at the model first because I didn't want to just.
Is that how most of you guys feel about it? Yeah, you had a moment. So, what is the atomic number of magnesium?
Isn't it 12?
Yeah, it's 12. And where do you find that?
The periodic table.
Yeah, like that exercise that we did the other day. So, with those, there is a little bit of just learning how to do the system and make it work. And that's part of the idea here is learning these skills. But when I had to take a test from the state of Arizona to be a licensed scientist, and they just handed me a periodic table and a calculator when I went in. It is like having the cheat codes if you know how to make them work. And so it's not like we expect anybody to know this knowledge naturally. But now the second question, what are the mass numbers of the naturally occurring isotopes of magnesium shown in Model 1? How did that question make you feel? Did anybody panic a little bit, or did you just answer it in 17 seconds? I see some head shaking. Is that no panicking or no answering?
Well,
I mean, guys, you know I'm a master of the awkward silence. We can sit here forever.
I think I panicked a little bit, like with both of them, because I forgot,
yes, sir. I said no. I said a little bit of both.
So, if you are unmuting, you have to hold unmute for like half a second before talking and hold it for half a second after for it all to come through.
All right. I'm sorry.
No, it's just we couldn't hear you at all. It's not your fault. The computers are kind of dumb. And since I was popping into the breakout rooms, I just want to say, this getting started seemed to take a lot longer, and part of that is the digital format and figuring it out. But part of it, these exercises do take people a little bit to get used to. Like, you're wondering what the trick is or what's the perfect right answer. And we get a little stuck about it. And what was the answer? Like, where did you find the answer in the end?
The answers were those numbers on the side of them, the 24, 25, and 26.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the numbers written there. Did that seem like it might be too easy at first?
A little bit, yeah.
So I'm gonna talk trash about all your other teachers all the time when I say things like this, but what kind of person makes a really hard question for question number 1? Like a jerk. Like, this is supposed to get us going. So this right here is where the magic is at. Everything else didn't matter. The questions with the keys next to them, that's what matters. Those are the key ideas. And yeah, you notice it's like, we call this question 10A, like explain why. That's a tough thing to do, like having to explain. You can't just be writing because I say so. And 16B, the mathematical reason, if you could write it as an equation, that's an awesome way to show mathematical reasoning. Trying to write it in words gets a little weird. But the key ideas are what's important. You get these little guys in the beginning and don't worry about them. Just do the best you can with what you've got. Now, I think I have everybody who said they needed more time in breakout rooms. So I'm going to open them up and then I'm going to talk to everybody else for a second. And if you need more time and you are not in a breakout group, let me know. All right. So everybody else got it turned in. We're all good. Yeah, I know quite a few of us got that done. So here, and are some fun things about atomic mass. Now, we're going to ask a lot of times, like, why does it even matter? Like, what's the whole point with this atomic mass? And this graph is something that, yes, sir.
Mister, I think I need to be in a breakout room.
All right, let me put you in one.
I need to be in a breakout room as well.
Wait, who is, I need to be in a breakout room as well there?
Jeremiah,
All right, let me put you in one.
thank you.
Anybody else need to be in a breakout room to finish working on it? No. I know quite a few of us came in to work on it earlier. So this graph that you see without all the cool spirals is a graph of what we have atomic number running down one side and just the number of neutrons in the element running up the other side. And the straight line is just showing like if there's one neutron per proton kind of dealy on it. Now, for our general atoms, they don't quite follow one-to-one, especially as they get bigger. We get more neutrons than we do protons. And it's not quite a straight line. What kind of curve would you call that if you were in math class?
I forgot what it's called, but it's kind of like an exponential where it goes up drastically, kind of like a parabola.
Yeah, it is an exponential. It's just not a very huge exponent. But the increase in number of neutrons increases as the atomic number goes up. So the rate of, if it was just a straight line, even if it was kind of like on that straight line, it'd be different, but it does curve a little bit. And the dots are showing kind of stable isotope locations. So I've got another picture of this graph. This is going to be way more colorful, and I don't know, it's not always easier to see. But there we go. And so you can see we have the stable isotopes in this black. It's kind of a stair-step looking line now as we have this thing graphed. And the different colored regions show what happens when we get, and we've made in a lab or we have found in nature elements that fit into all these other areas. So what is element number 82? It's like, now we got to find a periodic table. All right, guys, you got to type this into the chat. And if you don't, I'm sending you to a breakout room, but wait to hit enter.
Is it lead?
Is it lead? What do we think, guys? What's element 82? No, seriously, yeah, like I want to see it in the chat. I'm checking for participation now. You sit around silently. You got to make sure we're all on the same page in some capacity. Aranisa, do you need to be in a breakout room to finish the POGL?
No, I
Okay.
accidentally typed that.
All right. Yeah, so we got lead. Lead is the most stable element, or the last stable element in one way of looking at it. You notice there's no stable nucleotides after lead. So anything that has an atomic number higher than lead will, over some period of time, fall apart. And when they fall apart, that's what we call radioactivity. There's kind of a neat subject that we just don't have a ton of time to get into. But radioactivity gives us all kinds of great stuff. If you've ever had an X-ray, that's from radioactivity. If you've ever been to Phoenix, you've seen electricity powered by radioactivity. But every element lighter than lead has a stable form, and every element heavier is eventually going to fall apart. This is actually why people ask about the weird elements on the periodic table, like element 108. Like, what the heck is element 108? No idea on that? So we get those guys out there. Yeah, what is that? Like hassium? Is that named after somebody? That's a weird element. That didn't even exist when I was you guys' age, because this is the isotope thing. Once they get that heavy, they kind of fall apart. Some of the periodic tables will actually list the half-lives of some of those elements. And I think like 113, they're proposing a Chinese name for it because it was made in China, but it stuck around for 8 seconds. And like try to take a picture of it and weigh it and, you know, like, oh, look at our new baby element. And then poof, it fell apart into 2 different things. So this kind of stable island of elements it's interesting for atomic theory. And when people want to talk about that old idea of turning lead into gold, things this way will kind of fall to lead and release energy. And if you go this way, you can kind of squish things into lead, releasing energy. But going from lead to gold is actually really tough to do. Now, anytime the neutrons aren't right, it will give it a weird half-life and the element will fall apart. The amount of things that brings us, and we'll talk about this much more later on, but it makes modern life possible in many, many ways. But I want to give you guys a vibe check and see how we are doing now about getting our Apex work for the week done? Is everybody on track to finish all of the readings for the week? I know some of us are early starters on it. Yeah. Because I can give you guys more time to work on things. I am going to have to check on the Poggle people and see how they are doing.
Are the Apex readings due today?
I'm going to pull the grades every time on Sunday. Have I shown? I know I've sent some people an email, but if you see what it looks like, it's crazy. But I just go into the computer program and I ask for everybody's scores, and it gives me, 100 of you guys' scores. So I just do it one time on Sunday and I use those. What's up with the due dates, Eric? And yes, Brianna, I was going to ask you guys to, use your time productively and maybe work on Apex right now.
I had a question. They switched me from they switched my first and fourth period.
Yep.
And so, like, I know in my health class, all of my assignments, he can't access them, so I had to send everything to him. And my grades for this class, like, it says not graded for everything. Do you also need me to send everything from the past quarter?
Nope. I'm just going to sneak all of that over for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it didn't give us all the individual assignment grades, but we have all the raw percentages, so that's easy enough to just go straight across for. So yeah, I want to give you guys time to get caught up on anything that you need to for this class for a little bit. I'm going to check on the other guys, and then I'll pop back in here and we'll have, of course, the moment you've all been waiting for, our AB quiz. But generally speaking, I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but our grades in this class look much better than the other ones. There's still a few people who need some help, but getting everybody in class is the harder part there. But yeah, take a moment to work on Apex. Feel free to kill out your video, discuss hilarious politics, and I will be back with our roll call vote in a little bit.